Hello everyone. I just recorded a full video and somehow clicked and lost it. So I will start over and hopefully meet my 15-minute deadline right on the nose like I did with the last recording. All right, this is probably my last video for you all for this course. We are in the final stretch of 3500 of Elementary Methods of Social Studies, and we're continuing to do some summative assessments to see what you've learned over the course of the semester, how your thinking about social studies has changed. So I'm going to go through the last kind of assignment. It's a short week. The week really officially only goes until next Tuesday, so your work reflects that it's a shorter week. So you're almost there. What's left? There's a Pinterest Journey Box project, which I'm going to talk about today. You need to upload a lesson to your writing portfolio, which I'll also give directions for. There is a final exam with 2 options, actually 3 options that I'm going to talk through with you. And then I'd like to make a quick announcement that you have a SSLI survey in your email. So that's your survey of your course. It asks for your feedback about the course in general, but also me as an instructor. I would really like it if you could fill that out and turn it in by the due date, which is in your email. I think we have pretty low participation right now, and I really always strive to get 100% participation in those for a lot of different reasons, but one being that if I get 100% participation, then that means that the results are more valid. They're more reflective of the whole class and everyone's experiences. If I do get 100% participation, so I can't see who turns it in or who doesn't turn it in, your name's not on it, but I can see what was the percentage turned in. If we get to 100%, I will be giving everyone in the class 1 point extra credit, which is 1 percentage point of your grade, which is really helpful. So let's get those surveys in as soon as possible and go ahead and use a little bit of peer pressure to remind your friends about that. All right, the Pinterest Journey Box. So the Journey Box is an assignment that lots of social studies methods professors across the country actually use. The point of the assignment is to get you engaged in a topic that you're really interested in, but that is still social studies. We also want to make sure that you're engaging in counter narratives within social studies that maybe weren't part of your traditional social studies experience, but that you think are really important and that should be part of the social studies curriculum. And then the third part of it is collecting resources, so determining what is a good resource that I might use with students. So the assignment has actually changed over the course of the years. It used to be a physical box, so I would have students decorate a box, they would collect resources, primary sources, children's books, and put them in the box, and we'd share them in class. Then we've moved to a website where you're linking in the resources and designing a whole website over it. And I've tried to pare it down because it's the end of the semester. It kind of was a big project. And as I continued to research about Pinterest and Teachers Pay Teachers and realized that a lot of teachers are going to these sources for their curriculum, I wanted us to be able to do some advocacy work and make sure that there was good stuff on Pinterest rather than crappy stuff that we often see or that you read about earlier this semester in that article, Pinning for Pause. So you are going to create your journey box on a Pinterest board. And you're going to think through what counter narratives are missing from your traditional social studies curriculum. You're going to pick one social studies topic that you're really interested in. It can have anything to do with geography, history, economics, civics. It could be about a specific person, a specific group, a current event, a place, anything that represents a counter narrative or a marginalized perspective that you think should have some more play in the social studies curriculum. You are going to make a Pinterest board with a title for it, and then you're going to collect 6 resources. So that's not a lot, actually, about your person or your place or your current event. They can be like virtual museums, they could be primary documents, they could be maps, they could be an example of a good idea for a lesson. They don't all have to be like lesson or like worksheets or things like that. They could just be resources that you might engage students with. Importantly, though, to find good resources on your topic, you're going to have to go outside of Pinterest, find those resources, and then link them into your board. If you just try to do this all within Pinterest, you probably won't find very good stuff. So you need to go, think about the resources that you've found really good stuff at this semester. Maybe teachinghistory.com, Teaching Tolerance, Facing History. What are some other good ones people have used? different museums, North Carolina Museum of History, the Holocaust Museum. So you want to find good resources from reliable places, and then you want to organize your stuff into sections. So you might just have 2 sections, you might have 3 sections, but you want to collect those resources into sections. And the idea is that you'll keep adding to this as a teacher, as someone who maybe goes on Pinterest to pass the time. You can keep adding to this Pinterest board over time. You do need to write very short annotations of what each link is. It's a very easy format if you're not familiar with Pinterest. It's very user-friendly. So you might say, this is the site for the Holocaust Museum, the U.S. Holocaust Museum. It has lots of resources and primary documents, etc. Just basically say what it is, where it came from. When you're done with your Pinterest board, it has 6 resources on it. It's on a counter narrative for social studies that you're interested in. It's got reliable, good sources on it. It's organized into sections. You've written short annotations. You're going to share your link to both the assignment on Canvas so I can grade it. It's actually a pretty easy 10 points. And then you're going to link it to your discussion board so that other people can see yours and you can respond back to each other. If you have any questions on that, just go ahead and shoot me an email. If you think you have a topic but you're not really sure if it's a good one, shoot me an email and I can say that's great, or here's another way to think about that to tweak it. I'm happy to help you think through topics, but I don't think this assignment should take you more than an hour or 2 at the most. The hardest part will probably be coming up with a topic, but I'm hoping that now you've had a semester of social studies, some of you are thinking, oh, I never realized this was social studies and I'm really passionate about that, and I want to collect some resources that maybe I could teach about it someday. One of your classmates did his Pinterest board on Appalachia and stereotypes of Appalachia and maybe different ways we can think about the culture of Appalachia. Other people in the past have done stuff on unsung civil rights heroes, so people besides Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks that don't get talked about as much in the curriculum. People have looked at specific indigenous tribes within North Carolina. They have looked at current events such as the water crisis. So there's tons of different ways you can go at this. What's important is that you're picking something that you're interested in and that really truly represents a counter narrative in social studies. All right, the next thing is to upload your lesson to a writing portfolio. When I assigned this put it in the syllabus as worth a point, my assumption was that you had done this before because it is a university requirement. However, I'm starting to, based on emails I'm getting from you, I'm starting to think that you maybe have not done this before because you haven't had a writing intensive course before. So I'm going to quickly walk you through how you should do this. It won't take very much time and it's an easy 1 point. So you're going to go to your Pirate Port. So you're going to log into your Pirate Port with your Pirate ID. Then you're going to scroll all the way down through those applications, probably to the bottom, and it's called the iWeb Folio. And then you are going to upload your lesson plan. It can be your 5E or your 6-step to a 3,000 level course slot. So that you'll see that you'll have different slots for like different levels, 1,000, 2,000, etc. What was I going to say? Okay, you're going to upload, oh, sorry. What I was going to say is I wish I could show this to you, but I only have access to the professor side of it. I don't have access to a student side. So you will see something like this at the top, East Carolina iWeb Folio, but yours is going to look a lot different than mine. You're going to upload a lesson plan to a 3,000 level course. It also asks you to upload the assignment guidelines or rubric from it. So just upload either the 5E or 6-step from Canvas based on whichever lesson you picked. And you're going to answer some really generic reflection questions that they have up there about the assignment and your writing within it. And then importantly, you have to share it to your portfolio to me to review. And then I'll go in there, see that you did it, see that all the files are there, and then click on it and give you your point in the grade book. Like I said, this is not something I came up with. It's something that the university does to make sure that we are helping students to be better writers. It's a goal of the overall university. And so we get audited every once in a while to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And the point isn't necessarily to like have you always putting up essays or things like that. The point is to show that you can do technical writing in your field. So we're teachers, and so a lot of the writing we do looks like lesson plans or graphic organizers that we make. And that's the type of writing we do. So that's what this is meant to show. Again, if you have any questions about that, go ahead and email me. But if you follow these steps, I think you'll be able to figure it out. And if you want me to double check that I can see yours and review it, just go ahead and shoot me an email and I can double check. If you don't do it, you will hear from me next week because I have to go in and review all of them and click on it and to make sure we've done everything we need to do in case we get audited for that. All right, last up is the final exam. So you have two options for the final exam, or you can do an exit interview with me. So the final exam, the first option is to do short essay questions, which is the regular final exam that I always do about social studies, the parts of social studies, strategies for social studies, all those things. Or you can write a short half-page to one-page manifesto letter to parents about your social studies philosophy. So what you'll be teaching about in social studies and why. So I think the second one is really authentic because we've talked about how social studies can be kind of controversial and people have different feelings about it. And I think this might actually be something you could use in your classroom that you could share with parents about. Here's the kinds of stuff we'll be doing in social studies and why it's important to do. And I think it asks you to cite 1 or 2 articles from class. The other option, which some people have already signed up for, is an exit interview for me. So I added this option for a couple reasons. But one being that I'm going to be your instructor for summer session 1 in 3600, and that course is very much integrated with this course. And so I really want to see and talk to people about where they're at, how they're thinking about teaching before we move to that summer session 1 course. And just to get to know you a little bit better, I will be asking you some questions about social studies, but I'll also just be asking you about some questions about you and what you want to work on moving forward. So we can do what was called reflecting for action for summer session 1. So if you do choose that option, you need to choose so by next Wednesday, and then I'll be blocking off those times in my calendar. So that's why I need you to sign up by next Wednesday. There's a sign-up sheet with the optional times in Canvas. It's through a Google Sheets. If none of those times work for you and you really want to do that option, just go ahead and shoot me an email and I can give you some other times as options as well. It shouldn't feel like a really nerve-wracking interview. It should feel really laid back. You don't need to dress up. You don't need to like really prep for it. So I think that's the option a lot of people will pick, but it's totally up to you which of these options you want to do for your final exam. They won't open up though until next Thursday, so you won't be able to see them on Canvas till next Thursday, and then everything needs to be done by the Thursday after, which is May 7th. My grades are due shortly after that. Until that time, everybody should be finishing up these assignments and also doing any making up any other assignments. I will need all makeup assignments by next Wednesday before finals start. That way you can focus your finals week just on your final exam choice. And that will give me a chance to grade to make sure you've got everything you need to move forward to summer session 1. So any makeup work or any late assignments really need to get in by next Wednesday. If you don't think you can meet that deadline, go ahead and shoot me an email so we can talk through that. All right, lastly, and really quickly because I've got 2 minutes left in my recording, I wanted to give you a little preview of summer session 1, which is 3600, and it's a grades 3 through 5 practicum course. And it's the first time I've ever taught the course where we won't have actual practicum placements. So Dr. Kristen Gregory and I have been doing a lot of brainstorming about how we can still make this a really meaningful course and support the goals of the course without having a real classroom. So there'll be 3 goals of the course. One is to think through equity in classrooms and schools. The second will be think and practice being a reflective practitioner. So we'll talk a lot more about that, what that means. And the third will be thinking through and understanding what academic language is, how we support it, and how we get students to use academic language in the classroom. There will be 2 texts that you need to buy. One is Case Studies by Paul Gorski, and the other is Being the Change by Sarah Ahmed. You're going to get an email about those texts that you need to buy, and I would purchase them as early as you can because if you're going through Amazon, there have been delays in shipments lately, and you're going to need to hit the ground running with those texts right away at the beginning of the course. So you will be getting that in an email. The email will also have a survey about your experiences so far and what assignments you have to work with this semester. So please fill out that survey when you get it from Dr. Gregory and I. You will be doing practice teaching without a classroom. So we're still going to get to practice, but you're going to be doing that through video teaching with peers or kids if you have availability kids virtually, like online. We'll also be doing immersion simulation, which is almost like an online video game with avatars on your screen. So you'll be doing some teaching through that way. And then you'll be doing some kind of video read aloud. The important thing is that you won't have to create any new lessons or assignments. We're going to use what you've already developed. All right, guys, I'm out of time. Hope you're having a great weekend.